Hey guys, what is up? My name is Megan. Welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new. I hope you guys are doing well and staying safe, and welcome to this month's round of Candyland Picks My TBR, where I let a Candyland board pick my TBR. It's pretty self-explanatory. Obviously, this round is for the month of August. I'm not really going to touch base on how I did in July, because if you've seen my community posts, I've had a really hard time in July. I lost 2 of my pets, and I did not complete, I completed 1 book that wasn't on my TBR, and I haven't read anything else because I've been in my sad girl feels, so I'm not even going to give myself an extra spin this month because things were really out of my control. So we're going to do 5 spins unless, you know, we spin on the same color 3 times. Here is a reminder with the color board of what each color stands for as a prompt. And without further ado, let's hop on in. Let's go to spin number 1. Spin number 1 brought us to a blue. And blue is not something I usually get often, to the point where I forgot what the prompt was for a second. But it turns out that blue is a TBR vet, and for the sake of this game, a TBR vet is anything that I've owned for more than 6 months. For this prompt, I decided to go with Keepers of the Lost Cities. Technically, I have recently hauled this in a video. However, I do have an old beat up copy of the first book that I really don't like, with extremely yellowed pages. I've had this on my physical TBR for way longer than 6 months, and so I will be reading the first in this middle grade series. If you have not heard me speak of Keepers of the Lost City, essentially it's a middle grade series that kind of intimidates me because, first of all, it has a crap ton of books and they get really chunky once you're like a few books in, and also because I feel like it's a very hit or miss middle grade series for a lot of people. I've seen a lot of people in the comments say that they've had this series on their shelves, but they couldn't bring themselves to like pick it up because they don't know how they're gonna feel about it. So I thought, you know what, I'm just gonna taste test it for the people, let you guys know how I feel about it. All I know is that it follows a main character named Sophie, who is a telepath, and I guess I don't know if she is unaware of her magic or something happens. I think she meets a boy who reads minds, and then she discovers this community where she belongs, and the story kind of takes off from there. It feels very like Chosen One trope. A lot of people say it's kind of a mix between like Nevermore, Harry Potter, those kinds of like iconic middle grade books, and so I'm very looking forward to at least trying the first few books in the series and see how I like it. So this is the first book for this month. Spin number 2 also brought us to blue. This time it was a double blue, and that means that if we get another blue during this game, we add an extra spin. So as I said, blue is TBR vet, and for this one we're going with another red book, and that is The Final Gambit by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. This is the 3rd and final book in the Inheritance game series. I am a Jennifer Lynn Barnes stan. I'm a Jennifer Lynn Barnes girly. I have read her entire Natural series way before it was popular. And unfortunately for me, my old review that was like 5 years ago has started popping off on YouTube again. Sort of embarrassing, but I have yet to read the final book in the series, and I feel like it's very timely considering that the first book in the spin-off series comes out, I believe, in September or even at the end of August. So to avoid any spoilers, if there are any, I need to read this book. Now, as I've said, I love Jennifer Lynn Barnes and I love the series. However, I am so afraid of how it's going to end, because in this series, if you don't know the Inheritance game series, we follow this main character named Avery, who, you know, was not doing so well for herself financially and just family-wise, until she gets this, like, I don't remember if it's a letter or like someone shows up and is like, you have inherited a lot of money. The thing is, you need to stay with this family for a year for you to get your inheritance, and you need to stay at this specific mansion. Now, obviously, she's kind of coming out of the blue. Everybody's like, who the hell are you? People try to kill her. It's very chaotic, but it also has a love triangle. Now, I think I'm more of a Jameson fan that's kind of who I'm rooting for at this point. But I know Grayson is a lot of people's favorites as well, and I'm just kind of afraid of how this is all going to spiral out and just who Avery is going to end up with. So that's why I've been putting it off for so long. I think this was published like a year ago now, which is ridiculous. Yeah, copyright 2022, and I think it came out like last August, and I have avoided all spoilers for this, which good on me, but I still haven't read it, so on the TBR it goes. Bin number 3 was a double orange. However, it also brought us to the end of the board, and so this will be a free pick. I don't have anything specifically in mind that I want to read right now, so I think I'm just going to mood read throughout the month and count it as a free pick. It also depends kind of what happens with the rest of the game. So moving right along to spin number 4. Spin number 4 brought us to a double yellow, and yellow is the F1 readathon jar, which, if you don't know, I'm participating on this readathon for Formula 1 that was created by 2 people, I believe, on Bookstagram. I will try to find the information and leave it in the description for those of you guys who would want to participate. This readathon goes from like March to November, which is essentially the entirety of the F1 season, and it's a bunch of different prompts to pick books based off of Formula 1. Some of them are like kind of inside jokes, some of them are more broad, and I've been going through the prompts slowly. So let's pick a book. I don't even remember the prompts in here, so I'm starting to be worried. What is this? Oh, Team Papaya, read a book with orange on the cover. I don't think it's gonna focus. And my beauty guru skills are not on par. You can't see that. Let me find something. So for this prompt, I'm actually going to bring back a book from last month that I didn't get to, and that is Neutral Zone by Tegan Hunter. This is a dual perspective hockey romance, and it has the anonymous texting trope as well. They know each other in real life, they talk online, they don't know each other's identities, they fall in love. Chaos ensues. I have been trying to read this book for like 3 months, and I still haven't gotten around to it because life just keeps kicking me down. So we're just putting back this book on the TBR because I have a feeling this is going to be a 5-star one, like one of my new favorites. I feel like I'm going to feel the same way about this that I do Sunny Disposition, so I need to read it. And it's clearly very orange, and so it fits the prompt. Let's go to spin number 5, which is hopefully going to be our last spin. Spin number 5 was indeed our last spin, so that is all good. It is also another double yellow, which means we are going to pick from this jar again, so let's do it. I have like 17 of them in my hand. What is this one? One for the rookies, read an author's debut novel. I'm not gonna attempt the beauty guru hold, just trust me. I could not be happier to have had this prompt. We are going to go with Greenwild, The World Behind the Door by Perry Thompson. This is the beautiful Waterstones exclusive edition, and it is a middle grade. It's stunning, that I have been meaning to get to ever since I got my little paws on it, which is only a few months ago. I also have the audio for this, and this is about a young girl who escapes from boarding school. She's chased around London by this mysterious person, and she enters the world of Greenwild, which is a world of like botanical wonders, and then stuff goes from there. There's a cat on the cover as well, which is all great signs, and I am all for like encouraging middle grade authors that are like debuting, because I feel like there's a lot of people who debut in middle grade and it's not the most read genre or the more reviewed genre, so I really try my best to keep up with the releases, and It's blurb liked by so many of my faves: A.F. Stedman, Aisling Fowler, M.G. Leonard. I could not be more excited for a middle grade book. I've been staring at this on my shelves for such a long time now. It's a stunning book, honestly. It is beautiful. Even the, like, look at this. Look at this. Yeah. So this is what I'm going to be reading for a debut novel. So these are 4 books that are like set on my TBR. Also, I have a free pick to also add in there during the month, but I thought I'd talk to you guys about some of the other books I'm meaning to read throughout this month. So this is like a pile of maybes, and I'm realizing my pile of maybes is bigger than my pile of to be read. One of the books I want to read is Dragon Mountain. This is because it was on my TBR last month and I started this book. I'm really not that far in, but I started it and I was having good vibes with it, so I would ideally like to continue. This is a book about a young boy named Billy who goes to a summer camp in China to learn Mandarin because he's half Chinese, half American, I believe, and so his parents want him to be more familiar with the Mandarin language. And there he finds dragons in the mountain where he has summer camp, and the dragons have been waiting for him, so it's a chosen one trope. It sounds wonderful, and I was really getting into the swing of things again before all hell broke loose, so I would like to finish this one and, you know, get a grip on this series. Another book I'm in the middle of is The Way of Kings by Brandon Sanderson. I was reading the mass market paperback copy, but then I got these nice UK copy, and I think I'm just going to continue reading within this book because my eyesight is not the best, and reading in that tiny little book was doable but not the best experience, so I think we're going to chuck on with this brick. I might get the audio for this. I have been taking a ridiculous amount of time to finish this book. It was a great pace at the beginning, but then I kind of fell off, and I need to get back on the bandwagon, especially because I'm at part 3 now and I'm back with my faves, and so it would be ridiculous not to continue this book. So I will not give you a synopsis of this book. I refuse to. I'm not a fantasy girly, and this is very much so fantasy. But know that I want to keep checking at this. I refuse to bring this into fall. Like, this is a summer book and it needs to be done. 2 middle grades which I have my eyes on. One of them is Skandar and the Phantom Rider, the sequel to Skandar and the Unicorn Thief by A.F. Stedman. As I mentioned, she's one of my favorite middle grade authors after reading Skandar and the Unicorn Thief. I had started this, and then again life has been difficult, and so I didn't want to read it while I was in a poor mindset, put it down, never got the chance to pick it back up, so I would like to continue. I have a full review on Skandar and the Unicorn Thief if you want to hear more about the series, but I need to read the sequel. And I would also like to read Head Witch, which is a middle grade witchy story. It's adorable. Again, I spoke more about this in one of my recent hauls. It has cats, it has a lot of things I really love, and it kind of has the same vibes as Greenwild, which is why I would like to read them during the same month. It is also the first in a series, so I would like to see if I want to pick up the sequel anytime soon, maybe for the fall. So those are 2 books, my 2 middle grades that I would like to read. I would also like to read Fourth Wing because the hype just is not dying down, and I was gonna wait until the hype kind of died down to read this book. I don't know when it's gonna happen, and I don't know, maybe I'm going to love this book and be happy I joined while the hype was still ongoing. This is a dragon writing book. I romantasy. Everybody on the internet has heard of this book, so I'm not going to blabber too much about it, but it is definitely one I want to get to, and it kind of reminds me of like an adult romantic version of Skandar and the Unicorn Thief, so it has the potential to be a 5-star read. Then another book I would want to read is Tress of the Emerald Sea by Brandon Sanderson. Ever since I got this book, I just have the urge to read it because it is a standalone fantasy. I love Brandon Sanderson's writing from what I've read so far, and it just sounds very much up my alley. I'm just curious, like, I know the vibes are there. They are here, they are meant to be read, and so I feel like for some reason I should read this during the summer. Who knows? And the last book I would like to read is In the Lives of Puppets by TJ Klune. This has the most stunning sprayed edges, and it just sounds like a cozy, fun time, and that's what I'm in the mood for. I think TJ Klune tackles a lot of my favorite topics very well. So I feel like I'm in the mindset to read this, and I feel like it's going to be comforting, which is what I need right now. So yeah, clearly I am overly oh my god, I just wounded my book. Oh my god, I hate myself. Okay, clearly I'm overly ambitious with the maybe pile, but maybe one of these can count as my free pick, and we'll see about the other ones. If you want to see how it all turns out, don't forget to subscribe to watch my vlogs. And yeah, that's it for this month's TBR. Thank you so much for watching. I'll see you very soon with another video. Bye guys, happy reading.